Want more wins? Here's some tips. Brake late with our powerful titanium piston brake kits featuring our VRT Max rotor and all titanium hardware. Stay on track with the lightest, strongest, and safest rear torsion arm ever made in our exclusive AccuLength W-Link. Hold it all together with our huge selection of high-strength precision titanium fasteners boxed up custom for your car in part-labeled bags. Make the decision for precision. Smith Titanium. We winnovate.
Looking for a refreshing change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance and reach for the one that won't slow you down.
That's crisp.
Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's to filtration that works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
This year, we actually get to race.
These guys are sprint car drivers, stock car drivers, drifters. Here, they're going to drive something that requires a different sense of discipline.
It's a group of 12 guys who are really good at driving race cars.
Team NOS Zero Sugar.
Team NOS Original.
Team Sonic Sour.
Team GT Great.
We're not sure how these cars are going to drive.
Let's go racing.
It's ARP fasteners for whatever you race. From 2 wheels to 4. Off-road, on-road, even water. From the flat track to the salt flats. Grassroots racers, weekend warriors, and pros alike trust ARP. Made in America quality, family-owned and operated. When failure is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com. No matter what you race.
DIRTVision presents World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, the pinnacle of dirt track racing. Featuring sprint car racing's best drivers, biggest races.
David Travel is the King's Royal Champion. Slide up in front of Cowboy, and at the line, Cowboy gets the win.
And best coverage.
Welcome back to the greatest show on dirt.
You wanted the best. You got them for a rest.
DIRTVision is home to the greatest shows on dirt.
The greatest show on dirt has made its way across the border into Ontario and back to Ohsweken Speedway. The World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series returning to Canada for the first time since 2017 for 2 nights at the Federated Auto Parts Ohsweken Showdown. Good evening, everyone, and welcome in to DIRTVision's live coverage from Ohsweken Speedway. My name is Connor Wade. Tonight, we kick off the Canadian swing for the Outlaws here in 2025 after 8 years of an absence from going north of the border. Tonight here and tomorrow night here at Ohsweken Speedway, a couple of midweek shows. Friday and Saturday nights will take off, and then Sunday night at Cornwall Motor Speedway will wrap up this Canadian swing. It is great to be back here in Canada for the greatest show on dirt. A lot of excitement around these events. The fans packing into this place. They were lined up at noon already trying to sneak into the grandstand area and buy merchandise. A great field in the pit area and a lot of hype around the Outlaws 2 nights at Ohsweken. This place, if you go back several years, delivered a lot of quality moments for the Outlaws, and we're excited for more of those tonight. Before we set the table for all the things we're going to see here at Ohsweken, we've got a storyline to touch on that involves World of Outlaws points, and it goes back to last Saturday night at Williams Grove, the last time the Outlaws were in action. So let's go back and watch highlights from that race. Keep your eyes out for an incident that involves two of the frontrunners in Outlaw point standings.
Baylog with the jump into turn one. Macri goes to the top, trying to power around him on the outside. Can he make the pass out of turn two? Yes, he can. Macri for the lead into turn three. Schuhart to the inside of Dietrich, pulls even, can't complete the battle. Trouble behind him. Car sideways, it's Baylog. Macri and Schatz, now Schuhart challenging Danny Dietrich for third. Dietrich gaining some ground on second place. Donnie Schatz. Carson Macedo to the inside of the two of David Gravel. Move Carson Macedo up into the sixth spot. Schatz looks low into corner number three. Can he make the pass out of turn four? Yes, he can. New leader at the line, Donnie Schatz on lap 10. Macri back around him on the outside out of turn two. Slower car right in front of them. Macri back to the lead, but Schatz right on his back bumper. Macedo by Danny Dietrich. Carson Macedo now third. Dietrich fires it back at him on the inside of 3 and 4. Pulls even. Dietrich and Macedo still side by side. Dietrich back to third across the line. This time by 15 laps down, 15 to go. Caution on the speedway. Car upside down. Multiple cars upside down in turn 4. 41 Carson Macedo, 1S Logan Schuhart, and 83 Buddy Kofoid involved. And now we'll look at the DIRTVision replay, see if we can determine what happened here. Oh, the 11 spun. TJ Stutz spun right in front of them. Macedo, no place to go, and oh, heavy contact with Logan Schuhart. That was scary, but it all started when TJ Stutz spun right in front of them. David Gravel by Danny Dietrich for third, looking for second to the inside of Donnie Schatz. They'll go wheel to wheel out of turn two. Dietrich to the inside of Whittle, slider out of corner number 4. Danny Dietrich now back to the 4th spot. Schatz and Gravel side by side for second now. David Gravel has it on the high side as they enter turn 3. Schatz trying to work around the outside of Wyndham. Dietrich can't make it happen on the inside. Dietrich now dives to the inside of Donnie Schatz, move Danny Dietrich to third. The Morgan Cup will stay in Pennsylvania, and Anthony Macri is still undefeated at Williams Grove. David Gravel second, Danny Dietrich third, Donnie Schatz fourth, and Justin Whittle in fifth.
So a win for Anthony Macri at Williams Grove. However, the big incident that I referred to in that feature, just before the halfway point, Carson Macedo running inside the top 5, lap car TJ Stutz sideways in front of him. Nowhere for Macedo to go to let's load in Schuhart, the 41 and the 1S, making hard contact and took both of them out of the race. For Schuhart, his first DNF of the season, the second for Macedo. A lot of damage to both of those race cars, and both drivers shaken up after the fact and having to reset coming into Ohsweken. Both of those teams, the JGR 41 and the Shark Racing 1S team, had a lot of work to do on the couple of days in between Williams Grove and here at Ohsweken to prepare brand new race cars to come out to Ohsweken after 2 destroyed machines from Williams Grove on Saturday night. It hurt both of them in the point standing, so Carson Macedo and Logan Schuhart both with a little bit of a fresh attitude and trying to put Saturday night at the Grove behind them.
And these guys, work their butts off to make sure that we don't fall apart or we don't have any mechanical failures throughout the night, but getting in crashes like that, sometimes it's something that's out of your control, and sometimes luck just has to go a little bit your way. We've seen it hurt David in the past with racing the 49 car for a championship, when he was probably the better car, and it probably caused him to lose a championship.
You say, well, you wish we would have been in a better position, but we're running 3rd or 4th when it happens. Like, it's not, it's just, sometimes that's how racing goes, and unfortunately, you need a little lady luck on your side every once in a while. So we're not really disappointed. I feel like we had a lot of speed. We were running up through the field, and we're passing race cars, so it's pretty tough to be upset with that, and I think ultimately we just got to keep doing what we're doing, and eventually, the black cloud will pass through and we'll see the sunshine.
David got by, unscathed, and Carson and I were at the wrong spot at the wrong time. So, I'm just glad everybody is okay. Glad Carson was all right, TJ, everybody involved, and we were able to. You can always build new race cars. So, these guys busted their butts on Mother's Day. Didn't spend a whole lot of time with their family to get a new race car, back together and get ready to come up here to Ohsweken.
Philip, Adam, Robbie, and myself, we just kind of, I think we started at 8 a.m., dug in, and I think we didn't get done until 6:30 or so. It's a lot of work. A lot of that stuff, a lot of the fans and kind of the people on the outside don't see a lot of that stuff, but, wrecking a car, especially before coming all the way up here and then going back to Ohio before we make it back to our shop's a big deal, and it takes a lot of turnaround. So just glad that we were able to get it all done. We got a brand new one out tonight, and hopefully it'll bring us some good runs and some good luck.
So how did that incident on Saturday night affect Outlaw point standings? Well, let's take a look. In addition to those two cars wrecking out and David Ravel finishing second, Ravel builds his point lead up to 134 points. Logan Schuhart still hanging in second. The change, though, Buddy Kofoid passing Carson Macedo for third. Kofoid just 12 points back to Schuhart for second. Carson Macedo, though, 162 points back to David Ravel for the lead, and already almost 30 points behind Logan Schuhart for the second spot. So even with Schuhart and Macedo crashing out, you hated to see that happen. It was neither one of their faults. They just had nowhere to go. But the points the next couple of weeks should be interesting to watch as they try to bounce back, and Buddy Kofoid continues to be hot. So with that out of the way, let's focus on what we're going to see here these next two nights as the Outlaws return to Ohsweken Speedway for the first time since 2017. And while we're going to see the same exciting racetrack that we saw 8 years ago and beyond, how about how much the facility has changed? Glenn Steyer's the man who owns this racetrack, is involved in just about every facet of motorsports you can think of. That right there that you're seeing, that is the Glenn Steyer's Racing Shop, one of many buildings that Glenn has around this property. His house is on this property, several of his businesses. He owns a gas station just across the street. He's put a lot of work into what's really a Glenn Steyer's compound, and it's certainly shown off and gives this place a really cool aura whenever you drive into it. And the Outlaws are excited to be here for 2 more nights. The Outlaws started coming here in the early 2000s, holding 12 events in total. Again, always putting on great racing, as the Outlaws social team showed us some of the highlights on Twitter throughout the week. Those races were a lot of fun to watch. Let's take a look at who won those races. Nobody went to victory lane here more than Donnie Schatz with 4 total wins. Jason Sides actually won 3 of the first 4 Outlaw races here. Both of Tony Stewart's career wins with the greatest show on dirt right here at Ohsweken. Logan Schuhart and Stuart Friesen, as well as Jason Myers, also going to victory lane 1 time each. So Donnie Schatz obviously knew this place pretty well, as the 10-time champion knows just about every place on the Outlaw Tour well. But Donnie Schatz, having won here 4 times, coming back here 8 years since he raced here last, he knows what he's going to be looking for coming back to Ohsweken.
Pretty excited to be back, really. The guys are pretty excited. It's, you walk through the pits, there's not many guys that were here the last time that are racing now, and even in my own trailer, there's no guys on my team that were here, so they've been asking a lot of questions about what happens here and what doesn't, so we'll see what happens here this week. It typically got really slick in the past, but that was 10 years ago, 10 plus years ago, and things have changed, the racing's changed. I think they got a lot of fast locals here that have worked on their craft and run around here. This place pretty good, and you never know what's going to change with the racetrack. You just have to take it one step at a time, just like we do any other place. But in the past, it's been really slick, but it may not be that way tonight, with all the rain they've had.
So Donnie Schatz, David Ravel, Sheldon Hanschild, Carson Macedo. There's a few drivers that are full-time with the Outlaws that do have experience here at Ohsweken Speedway. Although it was very long ago, there's definitely going to be new things to learn. We'll see who can get on top of this racetrack the quickest. Some other notable entries to take a look at tonight. A really strong contingent of Canada cars and cars that are from the northeastern United States in attendance this evening. Look at a couple of them. Jordan Poirier, the Canadian, always fast in this area. Stuart Friesen, a winner here with the Outlaws in 2016. We're going to talk about him more in a second. Ryan Turner, a 3-time winner of the Northern Sprint Car Nationals. Billy Van Inwagen Jr., a Northeast big block modified guy, but was pretty impressive in his Outlaw Sprint Car debut last year at Weedsport. How about Dylan Westbrook, the all-time winningest driver in 360 competition here with over 40 wins? Ought to be a lot of fun to watch tonight. Stuart Friesen, the one I mentioned, he's going to drive that Glenn Steiner's Racing number 52, the only career win in Stewie's career with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series at Ohsweken back in 2015, a big win for Stuart, obviously, driving for Jessica Zimpton, who is now Jessica Friesen, his wife. So Stuart Friesen, known as a guy that can get in any kind of race car and win, be it a NASCAR truck, a big block modified, and even a World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car.
Hopefully, we can kind of knock the rust off quick and keep up with it. Excited to be here for 2 races next 2 nights, and big thanks to Glenn and Corpac and all our great sponsors for putting this deal together. I got Jess crew chiefing again, and my buddy Doug Emery helping out, who I drove for a lot back in the day. So it's a good group, and with what they've done here at Ohsweken, building their 360 program up, definitely I feel like it makes sense to have a 410 race and bring in the best guys in the business, and fortunate enough to be here and racing with them. Like I said, it's ultra competitive. There's a lot of guys traveling right now, and making a living at it. So it's cool to see, and hopefully we can keep up with those guys.
Stuart Friesen, a pretty darn good race car driver. Excited to see how all of those notable entries perform here tonight. The Outlaws against the stars of the Canadian sprint car world. We've got cars on the track. 3 voices in the booth tonight, led by the Hall of Famer John Gibson. John, it's great for the greatest show on dirt to be back at Ohsweken.
Absolutely is. Thank you, Connor Wade. I mentioned it before. I've been to over 400 racetracks in my career, and Ohsweken is in my top 5. So can't wait to see what happens here as we get the first of 3 practice sessions for Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying on the Speedway, making his way down the backstretch into turn 3. From Worcester, Ohio, the NOS Energy Drink, West Tennessee Expediting Frozen Farmer Maximal Oil number 17 of Sheldon Hodenshield. Car number 17X from Tillsburg, Ontario, the Lone Wolf Fireworks, Village Variety and Gas Bar Mobile 1 entry. That is Corey Turner. And driving the NOS Energy Drink King Racing Products, Jim Shuknik, High Performance Lubricants, Phillips and Tosco Developers entry out of Canton, Illinois, World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year contender Chris Wyndham. From Beamsville, Ontario, the J&E Recovery, Julie Swayze Remax, Ackland Insurance Eagle Towing Equipment number 88H, Josh Hansen. And car number 77E, the Nitro 54, Iroquois Concrete and Construction, United Compressed Air 87 speed entry. Driver out of Ohsweken, Ontario is Ashton Van Every. From North Pole, Alaska, and now living in Heartland, Wisconsin, driving the Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, Honest Abe Roofing, Turn It Up Media, Mr. Jim's Racing, number 17B, the North Pole Nightmare, Bill Baylog. And from Port Lamberton, Ontario, Canada, the Johnson Garage, E.R. Shepens, Saw Solutions, RT Shocks, 28K, Tate O'Leary. This will be the first of 3 practice sessions for Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Green flag waving on the opening practice session. As soon as all cars have completed a lap, we'll see the times on the scoring tablet here in the booth. Ashton Van Every, the first to register a lap at 14.471. Sheldon Hodgshield now ducks down to a 14.209. Chris Wyndham first into the 13s at a 13.751. Wyndham, Josh Hansen, Sheldon Hodgshield, now Bill Baylog to the top of the speed chart, and Sheldon Hodgshield tops him nearly into the 12s with a 13.008. Checkered flag displayed. Practice session number 1 in the books, and Bill Baylog into the 12-second range. Sheldon Hodgshield betters him. Hodgshield goes 12.714. Fastest driver in the opening practice session, Sheldon Hodenshield in the number 17. He turned a lap of 12.662 seconds, average speed of 100.802 miles per hour. Bill Baylog second quick at a 12.937. Chris Wyndham third at a 13.387. Corey Turner and Josh Hansen round out the top 5 in the opening practice session for the drivers in Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Drivers in practice session number 2 make their way onto the speedway. Rolling down the front stretch now from St. Matthew de Bully, Quebec, in the FM Industries GS Gunstars Racing M3S Conference 4 Seasons, number 28, Jordan Poirier. And car number 15T, the Nitro 54, Sitting Bull Tire, Ackland Insurance, Chairs Waterproof, entry driver out of Dunnville, Ontario, Ryan Turner. Car number 77T, the Aero Express, Babineau Septic Services, JR's Riverside Bait and Tackle, Route 54 Variety and Gas entry from Ohsweken, Ontario, Tyler Paulus. And from Beachville, Ontario, the Glen Stires Racing, Wampum Fuels, Ackland Insurance, number 5 of DJ Christie. Most recent World of Outlaws winner here in 2017 from Hanover, Pennsylvania, the Federated Auto Parts riding Duramax C&D rigging Shark Racing number 1S of Logan Schuhart. And a Rookie of the Year contender this season with the greatest show on dirt from Lemoore, California, the 2C Racing Outlaw Wings, Durst, Wedge High Performance Carts, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, number 2C Cole Macedo. And we'll keep it in the Macedo family. Cole's older brother from Lemoore, California, the All-Ball Year Alternative MVT, Tarleton and Sunsage family, Scott Boyd family, Complete Parts and Equipment Solutions, number 41, Carson Macedo. Practice session number 2 for the drivers in Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Second practice session will be a green-white checker practice session as the drivers make their way around the Ohsweken Speedway. Everybody looking at top Sheldon Hodgshield's 12.714, Logan Schuhart at a 13.046, Cole Macedo goes 13.042, Carson Macedo now quickest overall at a 12.701. Logan Schuhart up to the 3rd spot at a 12.805. Now Carson Macedo goes even faster at a 12.654. Fastest driver in the second practice session and now quickest overall in warm-ups, Carson Macedo in car number 41. Macedo's lap time 12.654 seconds, 101.280 miles per hour for the average speed. Sheldon Hodenshield still second quickest, Logan Schuhart now 3rd, Cole Macedo 4th, and Bill Baylog rounds out the top 5. All 5 of those drivers down in the 12-second range. Third and final practice session for Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, rolling onto the speedway from Thamesford, Ontario, the Legacy Holdings, DNO Towing, MJ Trucking, Ackland Insurance, number 7 of Eric Gledhill. And from Port Jervis, New York, in the Sterling Lubricants, Randy's Racing Filters, Paul Waynow Snap-on Tools number 10, it's Billy Van Inwagen. Rookie of the Year contender out of Indianapolis, Indiana, the C&D Rigging, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Tully's Heating and Cooling, Steve Beitler Yacht Charters, Hellraiser Jacks number 6, Zach Hampton. And from Sussex, New Jersey, the Dave Frannick Auto Sales, Rapid Tire, Escape RV, Atlantic Battery 28F of Davey Frannick. From Dunnville, Ontario, the Bodyline Auto Recyclers, Jansen Enterprises, Bucks by Tatra, Heaslip Ford at KF Construction, number 46, Kevin Pauls. And last year's World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year from Pen Grove, California, the Toyota Racing Development Mobile 1 Roth Motorsports, Roth Enterprises, HR Livestock Transportation, number 83, a Buddy Kofoid. Final practice session for Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Zach Hampton up to 7th quickest at a 13.213, fastest so far in this session. Now Buddy Kofoid into the top 3 at a 12.769. Hampton goes 13.127, 7th quickest overall as we wave the checkered flag on practice for Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Buddy Kofoid was the fastest driver in that practice session, 3rd quickest overall at a 12.769. Carson Macedo fastest in warm-ups for Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying at a 12.654. Sheldon Hodgshield 2nd at a 12.714. Buddy Kofoid 3rd. Logan Schuhart 4th, and Cole Macedo completing the top 5, followed by Bill Baylog in 6th, Zach Hampton 7th, DJ Christie 8th, Ryan Turner 9th, and Davey Franick completing the top 10. As we get set now for Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, it works this way. 2 cars at a time on the speedway, 2 consecutive laps on the clock. Faster of those 2 laps scored as that driver's official qualifying time. For tonight's racing program, we use the Honest Abe Roofing qualifying times to line up our heat races this evening, as well as for the front row of tonight's Microlight Last Chance Showdown. Ohsweken Speedway track record set by Craig Kinzer on July 30th of 2010. The time 12.047 seconds. Average speed of 106.383 miles per hour. For World of Outlaws timing and scoring purposes, we measure the Ohsweken Speedway at slightly under 3/8 of a mile in length, 0.356 miles to be exact, or for our friends here in Canada, 0.573 kilometers. Qualifying order determined by random draw as the drivers registered for the race program a little earlier this afternoon. The World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, and many of the teams have their merchandise available right now behind the front stretch grandstands. You see the souvenir trailers and tents set up down there, so we invite you to take advantage of that opportunity to pick up your World of Outlaws and driver merchandise here tonight and tomorrow at the Ohsweken Speedway. Connor Wade mentioning this is the 13th World of Outlaws appearance at the Ohsweken Speedway, dating back to July 25th of 2007. Jason Sides getting the victory that night. Sides here this evening as the car owner and crew chief for Chris Windham in the NOS Energy Drink number 7S. First 2 Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers make their way onto the speedway now. One of 8 drivers in the field making their World of Outlaws debut this evening from Ohsweken, Ontario, the Nitro 54 Iroquois Concrete and Construction United Compressed Air 87 speed number 77E, Ashton Van Every. And car number 17X, the Lone Wolf Fireworks Village Variety Gas and Gas Bar Mobile 1. Entry driver out of Tillersburg, Ontario, Corey Turner. Ashton Van Every, 77E, Corey Turner in 17X. First of 2 qualifying laps going in the books. Van Every at a 13.841.13.841. Corey Turner's opening lap is quick time at a 12.769.12769. Second time by for Van Every is a 13.951. He'll stay with that first lap, 13.841. Corey Turner faster the second time around at a 12.650.12650. Corey Turner fastest in the opening pair at over 101 miles per hour for an average speed. Second pair of Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers rolling trackside now from Canton, Illinois. The NOS Energy Drink, King Racing Products, Jim Shipnick, High Performance Lubricants, Phillips, Talsco Developers, number 7S, that is Chris Windham. And the native of North Pole, Alaska, now calling Heartland, Wisconsin home. The Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, Honest Abe Roofing, Turn It Up Media, Mr. Jim's Racing, number 17B, the North Pole Nightmare, Bill Baylog. Chris Windham in the 7S, Bill Baylog in the 17B, both of those drivers racing at Ohsweken for the first time in their careers. Opening lap for Chris Windham. Second quick at a 12.689, 126.89. Baylog on lap number 1. Quick time 12.576, 125.76. Windham the second time better at a 12.672, 126.72. That is still third quick. Bill Baylog second lap faster yet at a 12.561, 125.61. Bill Baylog now fastest in Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Next two drivers to make their way onto the speedway for Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. From Beamsville, Ontario, the J&E Recovery, Julie Swayze Remax, Ackland Insurance, Eagle Towing Equipment, number 88H, Josh Hansen. And from Worcester, Ohio, the NOS Energy Drink, West Tennessee Expediting Frozen Farmer, Maximal Oil, number 17 of Sheldon Hodenshield. Josh Hansen, 88H, Sheldon Hodenshield in the number 17. Hansen, an Action Sprint Tour winner here at Ohsweken back in 2018. Sheldon Hodgshield finished 20th here in 2017, his only previous appearance at the Ohsweken Speedway. First lap time for Hansen, 13.339.13 at 3.39. Sheldon Hodgshield on lap number 1. Quick time, 12.538, 125.38. Second time by for Josh Hansen is a 13.408. First lap better, 13.339. And an issue for Sheldon Hodenshield at a 13.420, but that car was off the pace over in turns 3 and 4. Hodenshield, however, still fastest so far at 12.538 seconds. Next two to make their way onto the speedway. From St. Matthew-Neighbourly, Quebec, the FM Industries, Gun Tires Racing, M3S Coverage, 4 Seasons, 28, that is Jordan Poirier, and car number 28K joining him, Johnson's Garage, ER Shep, and Saw Solutions RT Shocks entry of Tate O'Leary. First lap time for Jordan Poirier, fifth quick, 13.245, 132.45, and Poirier actually passing Tate O'Leary's 28K. Second lap for Jordan Poirier is faster at a 13.243, 132.43. So Tate O'Leary is official time 14.921. We will bring Jordan Poirier back onto the speedway. Obviously the 28K off the pace and interfering with that lap, Poirier actually had to pass him. Meantime, we look down in the pit area at Sheldon Hodenshield and the Stenhouse Junior Marshall Racing Team. The hood coming off of that car. We saw Hodenshield slow drastically on his second Honest Abe Roofing qualifying lap, and that crew about to go to work, and it looks like they are preparing to change the power plant in the number 17. So again, we are working to get Jordan Poirier's number 28 back onto the speedway for his second Honest Abe Roofing qualifying lap. Was interfered with by the 28K of Tate O'Leary, so Jordan Poirier making his way back onto the speedway. Green flag waves for Jordan Poirier, best finish here at Ohsweken, fourth on 2 occasions, a winner with the Sprint Cars of New England Series at Airborne Park in Plattsburgh, New York earlier this season. Poirier's official time 13.245, 132.45. Correction on that, it was just taking the green flag the first time by. Get a lap to build up speed. Poirier's official time, 13.113, 13113. Next two Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers making their way onto the speedway. From Ohsweken, Ontario, the Arrow Express Babineau Septic Services, JR's Riverside Bait and Tackle, Route 54 Variety and Gas number 77T, Tyler Paulus. And from Lemoore, California, driving car number 2C, the 2C Racing Outlaw Wings Durst Wedge High Performance Karts Kaiser Aluminum Wheels entry, it's Cole Macedo. Tyler Paulus in 77T, Cole Macedo in the 2C. First lap for Tyler Paulus, 7th quick, 13.470, 1.3470. Cole Macedo, 5th quick at a 12.760, 6.12.766. Second time across the line for Paulus, better at a 13.342, 1.3342. Macedo improves as well, though he stays 5th in the order at a 12.755, 1.2755. Next two to make their way out for Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Car number 15T, the Nitro 54, Sitting Bull Tire Ackland Insurance Chair's waterproof entry. Driver out of Dunnville, Ontario is Ryan Turner. And paired with him from Hanover, Pennsylvania, the Federated Auto Parts Showdown Duramax CD Rigging Shark Racing number 1S of Logan Schuhart. Ryan Turner in 15T, Logan Schuhart in 1S. 3 World of Outlaws starts here at Ohsweken for Ryan Turner. Best finish 23rd in 2015. First lap for Ryan Turner is 6th quick at a 12.981, 1.2981. Logan Schuhart's opening lap is now 6th quick at a 12.839, 1.2839. Second lap for Ryan Turner, better at a 12.928, 1.2928. And Logan Schuhart off the pace. So his official time will be a 12.839, 1.2839 official for the 1S of Logan Schuhart. Next to make his way onto the Speedway from Beachville, Ontario, the Glen Stires Racing, Wampum Fuels, Ackland Insurance, number 5, DJ Christie. And from Lemoore, California, aboard the All-Ball Your Alternative MVT, Tarleton & Sons, Sage Family, Scott Boyd Family, Complete Parts and Equipment Solutions, number 41, Carson Macedo. DJ Christie in the 5, Carson Macedo in the 41. Christie raced with the World of Outlaws earlier this year at Volusia Speedway Park, finished 9th in the C-Main that night. His first lap this evening at a 13.130, 1.3130. Lap 1 for Carson Macedo is 5th quick, 12.693, 1.2693. Macedo, winner of the Northern Sprint Car Nationals here in 2017. Christie's second lap time is 12.934. Carson Macedo with that 12.693. Leading the next two, Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers, trackside from Port Jervis, New York, the Sterling Lubricants, Randy's Racing Filters, Paul Wayne, Snap-on Tools, number 10, and Billy Van Inwagen. And along with him, from Timsport, Ontario, the Legacy Holdings, DNO Towing, MJ Trucking, Ackland Insurance, number 7 of Eric Gledhill. Billy Van Inwagen in the 10, Eric Gledhill in the number 7. Gledhill making his World of Outlaws debut here this evening. 10th at the Southern Ontario Speedway, has only started 2025. Van Inwagen's opening lap 13.259, 1.3259. First lap time for Gledhill will be a 13.531, 1.3531. Billy Van Inwagen on lap number 2 is a 13.328. First lap better at 13.259. Second lap time for Gledhill is a 13.540. First lap faster, 13.531. Two more Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers on the Speedway. From Sussex, New Jersey, the Davey Frantic Auto Sales, Rapid Tire, Escape RV, Atlantic Battery, number 28, F of No Panic, Davey Frantic. And joining him from Pengrove, California, the Toyota Racing Development, Mobile One, Roth Motorsports, Roth Enterprises, HR Livestock Transportation, number 83, Buddy Kofoid. Davey Frantic, a 5th place finisher here in the Empire Super Sprints in 2018. USCS winner twice this season. Opening lap time for Davey Frantic is a 13.341, 1.3341. First lap time for Kofoid is 10th quick, 12.937, 1.2937. Second time by for Frantic improves to a 13.246, 1.3246. Second lap for Kofoid, 13.111. He'll take the first lap of 12.937 seconds. Next pair to make their way onto the Speedway. From Dunnville, Ontario, Bodyline Auto Recyclers, Jansen Enterprises, Bucks by Tatra, Hazelip Ford, KF Construction, number 46 of Kevin Pauls. And from Indianapolis, Indiana, the C&D Rigging, the Sea Valley Transportation, Tullis Heating and Cooling, Steve Beitler Yacht Charters, Hellraiser Jacks, number 6 of Zach Hampton. Kevin Pauls in 46, one of the 8 drivers making their World of Outlaws debut here this evening. His first lap time will be at 14.153.143. Opening lap time for Zach Hampton, 11th quick at a 12.944, 12944. Second lap for Kevin Pauls is a 14.205. First lap better, 14.153. Hampton up to 8th quick on lap number 2 at a 12.916, 12916. That wraps up Flight A of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Fastest driver in that session, Sheldon Hodenshield in car number 17 at 12.538 seconds. Bill Baylog second quick at a 12.561. Corey Turner third at a 12.650. Chris Windham and Carson Macedo round out the top 5 in Flight A. We now have 3 practice sessions coming up for the drivers in Flight B of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying before they make their way onto the Speedway for their qualifying efforts. First driver onto the Speedway, practice session number 1 for Flight B of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. From Tonawanda, New York in the Airport Collision Fiberworks Composites number 94, it's Todd Hoddick. One of the World of Outlaws contenders for the Kevin Gobrecht Award for Rookie of the Year honors this season makes his way down the front stretch now from Bradenton, Florida, driving car number 28M, the Tub of Tiles, Amalie Oil, USA Steel Fence, Adams Transport entry for Connor Morrell. One of the unique features of Ohsweken Speedway, the smaller micro-sprint track back in the pit area used as the push-off lane for larger sprint cars. Rolling onto the Speedway now between turns 3 and 4 from Harding, Pennsylvania, the C&D Rigging, Valley Chevrolet Mechanical Service Company, Pribula Industries, White Bread Enterprises, number 79 of Jordan Thomas. And the defending World of Outlaws champion, the current series points leader from Watertown, Connecticut, the Houston Speedway, BillionAuto.com, Jackson Motorplex, Prosper Real Estate Investments, JRC Transportation, number 2 of David Gravel. From Mount Bridges, Ontario, the Pride Seeds, Vibrant Farms, APC, Connell's Construction, Reynolds Trucking, number 45, Nick Sheridan. And from Britain, Michigan, the GSR Chassis, Chantarelli Promotions, Ohsweken Speedway, Poor Racing, number 22, M of Dan McCarran. And from Geneva, New York, in the Fratto Curbing, Speedway Performance, DMI number 22, Jonathan Preston. Practice session number 1 for Flight B of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. On the big screen, you see the damaged torque tube there in the 17 for Sheldon Hodenshield, so going to work on that car once again. Hodenshield, remember, the fastest qualifier in Flight A as we wave the green flag on the first practice session for Flight B. Jonathan Preston, 13.464. David Gravel, 12.617. Impressive stuff for Gravel. Gravel, the only driver in this session into the 12-second range, and he's nearly a half a second into it. 0.7 of a second faster than anyone else in this session. He goes up 12.592. Checkered flag waving. David Gravel turning a 12.592 at 101.779 miles per hour, the only driver into the 12s in that practice session. Jordan Thomas second quick at a 13.114, Jonathan Preston third at a 13.347. So again, a massive amount of work being done in the pit area. The engine is out. They also have to change the rear end in the number 17 for Sheldon Hodenshield. And as the fastest qualifier in Flight A, he would be scheduled for the first heat race this evening. So they've got their work cut out for them down in the pit area as we continue now with practice session number 2 for Flight B. Car number 68 rolling down the front stretch now. From Ohsweken, Ontario, the Ohsweken Speedway, GSR Chassis, Glen Stars Racing, Sit and Bull Tire, number 68, Aaron Turkey. World of Outlaws rookie contender this season from Sikeston, Missouri, the TK Concrete, Maxim Trucking, Logan Contractor Supply, Zip Bonds, Smoker's Choice Cigar Bar, Inland Rigging number 55, Hunter Schurenberg. And from Scotland, Ontario, in the Miska Trailers Weeks Construction, Ackland Insurance Hills Racing, Nitro 54, Nitro 54, that is Dylan Westbrook. World of Outlaws rookie contender from Columbia, Missouri, the SNS Nationwide, CSC Group, LRI, Eagle Stop, Missouri Games, Impact Signs, Abbott Telecom, number 23, Garrett Williamson. And from Six Nations, Ontario, the Townline Variety, Prime Powders, Ackland Insurance, Strode's Barbecue and Deli, number 77X, Alex Hill. And from Leduc, Alberta, the Warrior Building Development, Building Packages, Direct Nelson Brothers Construction, Pack Rat Dumpsters, number 99, Skylar G. Skylar G is the fastest so far in this practice session, 6th quickest overall for Flight B at a 13.461. Garrett Williamson just behind him, and now G vaults himself into the top 5 at a 13.383. Williamson 7th, Hunter Schurenberg 8th fastest overall as we wave the checkered flag on the second practice session for Flight B. Skylar G fastest in that practice session, 13.383 seconds. Gravel still quickest overall for Flight B practice. As the final practice session of the evening rolls onto the Speedway, led out by the 10-time World of Outlaws champion, 4-time feature winner here in Ohsweken. From Fargo, North Dakota, the CarQuest Curb Martin One Source number 15 of Donnie Schatz. From Clay, New York, in the Pit Stop Convenience Stores, Schoenfeld Headers, Muji Motorsports, number 98, Joe Trinka. And from Fresno, California, the Royal Flooring Bobcat Concrete Supply, JMT Trucking, number 18, Hot Sauce, Giovanni Selzy. From Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, the Ohsweken Speedway, GSR Chassis, Glenn Stires Racing, Chantarelli Promotions, Corpac, number 52 of Stuart Friesen. And from Ohsweken, Ontario, driving the Ohsweken Speedway GSR Chassis, Creative Edge, Chantarelli Promotions, number 0, Glenn Stires. From Hamilton, Ontario, the Fent Kitchens and Millworks, Six Nations Tourism, 87 Speed, Schmuck Truck, number 19D, Alan Downey. Final practice session of the evening for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Green flag in the air for the final practice session, night 1 of the Federated Auto Parts Ohsweken Showdown. Donnie Schatz, 4th fastest in this session. Now Giovanni Selzy takes the 3rd spot at a 13.176. Schatz improves, stays 5th overall, and now Giovanni Selzy up to 2nd, nearly into the 12s at a 13.064. Stuart Friesen 8th fastest at a 13.388. Checkered flag waves. Fastest driver in that practice session, 2nd quickest overall in Flight B warm-ups, Giovanni Selzy in the number 18 at 13.064 seconds. David Gravel, half a second quicker than anyone else in warm-ups for Flight B at a 12.592. Selzy 2nd, Jordan Thomas 3rd, Jonathan Preston 4th, and Donnie Schatz rounds out the top 5. We get set now for Flight B of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Before we do that, we'll send it down to the pits and Connor Wade.
We've seen all the work going on with Sheldon Hodenshield. So what originally started the problem, the U-joint, which lives in the driveline, the torque tube of the race car broke. When that broke, the engine functioning without a U-joint essentially revs really high, blows up. So not only do they have to change the motor, they have to change the entire driveline as well. New torque tube, new drive shaft, all of that. I was going to point out the torque tube, which is sitting over here, and you can see the broken end. They've just now moved that into the trailer, but a lot of damaged pieces down here, a lot of stuff laying all over the ground. They haven't even gotten the spare engine into the car yet. The driveline is what you repair first, so they're going to push the car in a couple of minutes here once they get the driveline set back into the trailer, put that spare engine in, get a radiator back in it, and get the headers on. So a lot of work for the 17 team. It does help that the late models are on the car in a hot lap. It helps they had a second group of hot laps and a second flight of qualifying that they're going to get some time from, but should see the 17 be able to make the call for the heat race, but a lot of work going on in between setting fast time in Flight A and starting on the pole the first heat.
Thank you, Connor. First two Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers on the Speedway for Flight B. From Tonawanda, New York, the Airport Collision Fiberworks Composites number 94 of Todd Hoddick. And joining him from Britain, Michigan, the GSR Chassis Chantarelli Promotions Ohsweken Speedway Poor Racing 22 M10 McCarran. Lap number one for Todd Hoddick, 13.607, 13.607. Dan McCarran's opening lap time is a 13.919, 13.919. Hoddick making his first World of Outlaws appearance in 11 years this evening. Second lap time is better, it's a 13.434, 13.434. Dan McCarran's second lap time improves as well to a 13.750, 13.750. Leading the next pair out, Rookie of the Year contender out of Bradenton, Florida, in the Tubba Towels Amelie Oil USA Steel Fence Adams Transport number 28M, Connor Morrell. And along with him, car number 79, Jordan Thomas. Thomas out of Harding, Pennsylvania, the C&D Bringing Valley Chevrolet Mechanical Service Company, Privula Industries, White Bread Enterprises entry. Connor Morrell in 28M, Jordan Thomas in 79. Thomas winner each of the last two weekends in 360 action, once at Selinsgrove, once at Georgetown, Delaware. Morrell on lap one, quick time in Flight B at a 13.350, 13.350. Jordan Thomas is now quick time at a 13.292, 13.292. Second lap for Morrell, better, but still second quick is 13.345, 13.345. Jordan Thomas on lap two, faster at a 13.194, 13.194. Jordan Thomas now fastest so far in Flight B. We'll see if it stands, because the man leading the next pair out was half a second quicker than anyone else in warm-ups. Defending World of Outlaws champion, the current point leader from Watertown, Connecticut, the Houston Speedway, BillionAuto.com, Jackson Motorplex, Prosper Real Estate Investments, JRC Transportation, number two of David Gravel. And paired with David Gravel in this qualifying session, car number 22, Jonathan Preston. Preston of Geneva, New York, the Metal Curving Speedway Performance DMI entry. Opening lap time for David Gravel. Quick time at a 12.808, 12.808. Jonathan Preston on lap one, 13.347, 13.347. Second lap for Gravel, 12.980. First lap was better at 12.808. Second time by for Jonathan Preston moves him into the third spot at a 13.325, 13.325. Next two Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers from Mount Bridges, Ontario, the Pride Seeds, Vibrant Farms, APC, Connell's Construction, Reynolds Trucking, number 45, Nick Sheridan. And paired with him from Columbia, Missouri, in the SNS Nationwide CSC Group, LRI, Eagle Stop, Missouri Games, Impact Signs, Abbott Telecom, number 23, Garrett Williamson. Nick Sheridan making his World of Outlaws debut, winner here last year with the Southern Ontario Sprint Series. First lap time for Sheridan is 7th quick, 13.832, 13.832. Garrett Williamson on lap one, 5th quick in Flight B at a 13.423, 13.423. Second time by for Sheridan into the top five, 13.393, 13.393. Garrett Williamson goes 13.395. So those two drivers separated by just 2 1,000ths of a second. Nick Sheridan 5th quick so far, and Garrett Williamson 6th. From Leduc, Alberta, driving the Warrior Building Development Building Packages Direct, Nelson Brothers Construction, Pack Rat Dumpsters, number 99, Skylar G. And from Sykeston, Missouri, the TK Concrete, Maxim Trucking, Logan Contractor Supplies, at Bond Smokers, Choice Cigar Bar, Inland Ricky, number 55, of Hunter Schurenberg. Two World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year contenders on the Speedway for Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Skylar G making his first ever appearance at the Ohsweken Speedway this evening, as is Hunter Schurenberg. G's opening lap goes 13.598, 135.98. Hunter Schurenberg on lap 1, 13.575, 135.75. Second lap time for G, 13.458, 134.58. And for Hunter Schurenberg, his second lap is fourth quick at a 13.332, 133.32. We go under yellow flag conditions. Report over the Racing Electronics World of Outlaws radio system. Some debris on the speedway in turn 4. David Gravel fastest so far in Flight B of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying at 12.808 seconds. Jordan Thomas second at a 13.194. Jonathan Preston third, Hunter Schurenberg fourth, and Connor Morrell in fifth. The next two drivers for Honest Abe Roofing qualifying are on the speedway. From Scotland, Ontario, in the Miska Trailers, Weeks Construction, Ackland Insurance, Hills Racing, at Nitro 54, number 47X, Dylan Westbrook. And paired with Westbrook, car number 68. The Ohsweken Speedway GSR chassis, Glenn Steyer's Racing, Sit and Bull Tire entry driver out of Ohsweken is Aaron Turkey. Lap 1 for Dylan Westbrook, 10th quick, 13.528, 135.28. Aaron Turkey on lap 1, 14.358, 143.58. Westbrook nearly untouchable here last year in 360 action. His second lap on the 13.510, 135.10. Aaron Turkey on lap number 2, it is a 14.252, 142.52. Next two Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers making their way out. From Six Nations, Ontario, the Town Line Variety, Prime Powders, Ackland Insurance, Strode's Barbecue, and Deli 77X of Alex Hill. And joining her, the 10-time World of Outlaws champion from Fargo, North Dakota, the CarQuest Curve Martin, one source number 15 of Donnie Schatz. Alex Hill in 77X, Donnie Schatz in the number 15. Two previous World of Outlaws starts here for Alex Hill, 12th in the Microlight Last Chance Showdown 2016, the best of those. Opening lap for Alex Hill, 14.262, 142.62. Donnie Schatz on lap 1, fifth quick at a 13.344, 133.44. Alex Hill on lap 2, better at a 14.038, 140.38. Donnie Schatz better as well, still fifth in the order at a 13.337, 133.37. Two more Honest Abe Roofing qualifiers from Clay, New York, the Pit Stop Convenience Store, Schoenfeld Headers, Mucci Motorsports, number 98 of Joe Trenka. And from Hamilton, Ontario, the Vent Kitchens and Millworks, Six Nations Tourism, 87-speed schmuck truck, and number 19D of Alan Downey. Joe Trenka in 98, Alan Downey in the 19D. Trenka, a 15th place finisher here in 2014 with the World of Outlaws. First lap time, 13.502, 135.02. Alan Downey goes 14.512, 145.12. Second time around for Trenka at a 14.004. First lap better, 13.502. Alan Downey's second lap is better. It's a 14.291, 142.91. From Ohsweken, Ontario, the Ohsweken Speedway GSR chassis, Creative Edge, Chantarelli Promotions, number 0 of Glenn Steyers. And from Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, the Ohsweken Speedway GSR chassis, Glenn Steyers Racing, Chantarelli Promotions, Core Pack number 52 of Stuart Friesen. Glenn Steyers in the 0, Stuart Friesen in the 52. Friesen's lone career World of Outlaws victory came here in 2015. First lap for Steyers, 14.169, 141.69. Stuart Friesen's opening lap, 13.434, 134.34. That is into the top 10. Second time by for Glenn Steyers, 14.385. First lap official, 14.169. Stuart Friesen up to 9th quick on lap number 2. Official time, 13.434 seconds. One final Honest Abe Roofing qualifier makes his way onto the speedway from Fresno, California. The Royal Flooring Bobcat Concrete Supply, JMT Trekking number 18, Hot Sauce, Giovanni Scelzi. Giovanni Scelzi in car number 18 makes his Ohsweken Speedway debut this evening. Currently sits 7th in the World of Outlaws point standings with 1 victory and 3 top 5 finishes on the season. First lap time for Giovanni Silzi is 9th quick, 13.416.13.416. Second time around for Giovanni Silzi, second quick at a 13.04613.046. Second quick in Flight B for Giovanni Silzi. That wraps up Flight B of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Fastest in this flight, David Gravel in car number 2 at 12.808 seconds. Giovanni Silzi second at a 13.046. Jordan Thomas third at a 13.194. Jonathan Preston fourth, and Hunter Schurenberg rounds out the top 5. Donnie Schatz sixth quickest. Connor Morrell seventh. Nick Sheridan eighth. Garrett Williamson ninth, and Stuart Friesen completing the top 10. Overall, your fastest qualifier this evening and the winner of the Simpson Quick Time Award from Flight A, Sheldon Hodenshield at 12.538 seconds. And you can see the new engine is between the frame rails of the number 17. Sheldon getting into the cockpit, getting ready to fire that engine, so we won't be able to get a word with our Simpson Quick Time Award winner, obviously very busy down in the pit area for the NOS Energy Drink number 17. Qualifying and practice wrapping up for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Companion Division late models getting set to roll on in the Speedway. Rick Callan, certainly great to be sitting next to you once again here in the booth at Ohsweken.
It's been a long wait to have you back, Johnny. Good to see you. Good to see you're healthy as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, a little bit of a scare a couple weeks ago, but I think we're in good shape now and ready to complete the 2025 season.
And you brought a big car count as well. The biggest we've seen here at the Big O, and tonight, support division, the open late models here tonight. Their only appearance. We will have the crate late models in July, but if you're a late model open fan, a little bit of crates, a little bit of open motors, you're going to see it here tonight. We got a good car count, Adam.
Is this as close as we get to a run what you brung, Greg?
This is probably it. Yeah, it's when you use that word open,
if it looks like a late model,
there's very few rules to that. So a couple of hot lap sessions will run here for these late models. One driver having to make a quick swap over is Glenn Stiers, who's doing double duty here tonight, and he is set to go in this first practice session, but he just wrapped up qualifying with the World of Outlaws, so we're going to see him jump into that. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is his first competition in a dirt late model. I know he's got practice laps. Mad Max McLaughlin tested the car last night. We'll see how Glenn fares in the late model tonight. He'll be in the UMP tomorrow as well.
I think, based on Glenn's proficiency with the UMP late models that we've seen, I think the modifieds, I think it's going to bode very well with him in a late model.
Yeah, Glenn's been so good in the UMP modifieds. He got a win down in Florida this February, and last year had a great battle with Kenny Schrader and Greg Bellier, so we expect to see Glenn at the top of his game here in the support divisions as well, competing with the World of Outlaws. So a busy night, and I think that's probably the extra time they're giving right now is to get Glenn strapped into that car and out here for this first hot lap session. Great field of cars, 22 in total here tonight for the late models.
That is a great car count for this show, and we should explain how that comes about. The World of Outlaws, being the greatest show on dirt, have certain requests, Greg, when you book a show, and that's not to book 5 or 6 classes. They want one support class of less than 30 cars. So if we'd have put any Ohsweken regular division on the card tonight, we'd have had 40 or 50 cars. So Clinton Jeffrey, Glenn Stiers, all the Brain Trust got together, and late models tonight, UMP modifieds tomorrow night. I think we'll probably see about the same number of modifieds tomorrow as we got late models tonight.
And thankfully, Friday night, we were able to get all of our regular divisions, aside from the 360s, in action, along with the Sportsman. We had a great opening night this past Friday, and we're ready to go again. We're starting earlier than we ever have here at the Big O as Carter Long turns these late models loose. Smooth Criminal, John Pinsino there in that 36 machine working down the backstretch, the black and pink machine. Jim Dale Jr. in the 00 from Blenheim. We'll see him here tonight as well. The 4 CJ Field, another one of those Western Ontario regulars, runs down at the Buxton Speedway.
CJ Field, the quickest here in the early going. Now Brandon Mowat knocks him off the top. Brant Graham takes his turn, so lots of drivers taking their turn at the top of the charts here, but looking out the window, we can see they're using every groove of this racetrack.
Stan Zankin also joining us again. He retired many years ago, but didn't really quit driving. It was quite the retirement party he had, but back again for another season. Brandon Mowat there, second quick. This is a racetrack where we've seen it in the past. If things slick off, the crates can actually fare better than the open motors, and we've seen that with Andrew Hennessy, Charlie Sandercock over the years. So it really depends on how this racetrack is at feature time. What car has the advantage? It could be the crate.
No, and given the weather the last couple of days, what's the track going to do? I mean, looking out, it's still got tons of grip in it. And the way we tell the dumb way from the tower is to look at what shade of brown it is. It's still fairly dark brown. There's a lot of bite out there. The line Stuart Friesen chose in his time trial lap, running around almost the bottom of the track, tells you there is grip everywhere.
Second group make their way out onto the racetrack. Kyle Sopaz in the number 11 on the back stretch. One of the regulars down from the Brighton area. Craig Graham in the 98. Father-son team. Son Brant drives the number 14. Austin King with us in the 89. Austin down from Port Hope, Ontario. So good mashup here of West and East. We don't have late models anymore here in this region now with Humberstone closing, so it's really a meeting point for the Brighton Speedway regulars and the Buxton Speedway regulars to come and converge here.
And they all have to travel. They've made that commitment. We're happy to have them here tonight.
There's a long-time Ohsweken Speedway regular, Rob Lettingham there in the 19 Junior. Ran with the Sportsman division for a number of years. Many-time winner here.
But not Rob driving.
Oh, is it not? Sorry.
John McIntyre. But Rob's too old.
Wow.
I saw them here practicing one of the practice nights, and he wasn't in a fire suit. And I sort of scratched my head. Then I saw the list and thought, okay, 19 Junior, John McIntyre.
It's got Brian Spielman, who's always good here at the Big O in that number 22 machine on the back stretch.
And I'll tell you what, you know, people can say what they want about Glenn Stiers and how many different race cars he competes in. Every one of them is beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. Steve Lyons' Creative Edge does a fantastic job, and he's got a lot of cars to wrap, we'll tell you that. I got to do Glenn's hero cards this year, and I don't even know how many cars are listed on there. You name it, he races it. Let's just put it that way. He'll be on the road course this weekend with the NASCAR Canada Series.
Yeah, 27 cars on the entry list for this weekend's race, so that's really good news.
You go Trayton's driving his late model, though, at Sunset, correct?
Trayton's taking my job.
All right,
he's color commentary.
I did hear
for the
that.
broadcast.
That's an upgrade.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I sent him a message, wished him well. So if there's anything at all I can help with, I'm happy to help. He'll do a great job. He and Gary Kluter both taking on that role.
Also got the 57 of Charlie Sandercock out there, along with Dylan Bonner in the 64. Chris Fiddler in the 33 tonight. CJ Field still the quickest, but Brian Spielman, no surprise, jumps up to second quick here in this hot lap session.
Little surprised to see Charlie Sandercock up off the banking in 3 and 4. That car looks pretty tight. He'll have it figured out by the time this night is through, but expect a little bit more speed right off the start from Sandercock.
Greg Haskell clocks in second quick. No surprise, he's won here at the Big O before. But it's CJ Field with the fastest lap here tonight, 15.355.
Practice and honest day roofing qualifying complete for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Practice for the open late models as well means we can step away for a moment here on DIRTVision and come back with opening ceremonies.
Okay, now that's going places.
I want to go places too.
I want you to have more opportunities than I had.
So I would live in Hershey, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, and you'll live with other students from all over the country. I'll see you soon. You're gonna be great.
Find your future at Milton Hershey School.
DIRTVision would like to thank our friends at Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts for helping us get from track to track.
If this is your idea of ladylike, you're gonna fit right in. Join us at Toyota Racing.
Real American beer, a brand new national treasure.
It's a moment of transformation when humans become heroes and training gives way to instinct. In that moment, senses are heightened to new levels. Every sound, every breath, every second that can mean the difference between life and death. Determination is matched only by empathy for those who need you most. In that moment, you need a tool that rises to the challenge. Simple, rugged, reliable. Amcus Rescue Systems, built for the moment.
Looking for a refreshing change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance and reach for the one that won't slow you down.
That's crisp.
Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's to filtration that works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
Welcome to our world. A world of dirt, drift, and dodging fate. A world where all of motorsport collides. A world of digging deep, of grit, glory, and bitter defeat. Inhabited by the strong, the fearless, the barely sane. Welcome to our world. Welcome to the world of NOS.
We are just about set to officially kick things off here. Night number one of the Federated Auto Parts Ohsweken Showdown. The World of Outlaws returning to Ohsweken Speedway for the first time in 8 years. And with that in mind, we'll go ahead and get down to victory lane and Connor Wade.
Thanks, John, to everybody here at Ohsweken Speedway and our DIRTVision viewers back home tonight. The Outlaws kick off Ohsweken in Canada, which takes place 2 nights here at Ohsweken, and then Cornwall on Sunday. The fans have really shown out for the Outlaws' triumphant return north of the border for the first time in 8 years. And if honestly roofing qualifying is any indication, we're going to have a great night and a great week here in Canada. Ohsweken Speedway is a part of the Six Nations Reserve number 40. Apologies if I didn't pronounce that correctly. So for a special opening ceremonies presentation, I hand the mic over to Clinton Jeffrey to tell us what you're going to see during opening ceremonies here at Ohsweken.
Thanks a lot, Connor. It means a lot to have the Outlaws back here. How about it, fans? Let them know you appreciate it. Let's hear some noise for the Outlaws coming back to Ohsweken. Well, just like we do at all our big events, we're going to kick it off with the Six Nations Smoke Dance. Let's have one. Six Nations Smoke Dancers. Connor, it's great to have you guys here. We're gonna have a great 2 nights. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you, sir. We are excited for sure. 4 heat races coming up for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Sheldon Honschild's going to be on the pole of this first one, coming off on a Sabre roofing qualifying quick time, but an engine change after that. Great night on tap here at Ohsweken. Here's John Gibson as the Outlaws return to Canada for the first time in 8 years.